Hi everybody, this is your DUMC daily video devotion for Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. Just like all of you, I'm still trying to get my head around the events of this past week. I feel emotionally drained. I feel spiritually exhausted. My heart aches. And I found as everything unfolded this past week that I was left with more tears than words. As I watched the video of another unarmed black man dying at the hands, and literally in the hands of the police, I cried. As I listened to George Floyd's family in an interview, I cried, and as I listened to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms and Killer Mike and Reverend Dr. Bernice King on Friday night, I cried. And as I watched our city of Atlanta deteriorate from peaceful protest into violence and theft and destruction, I cried. And by the time Sunday morning came around, I had no more tears and no more words. And to be speechless as a Methodist preacher is a rare and unsettling thing. But I figured that since I had nothing to say, the best thing that I could do would be to listen. And so my wife Lindsay and I listened to Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock, the senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church, which you will remember is Martin Luther King Jr.'s spiritual home. And in his sermon, Reverend Warnock compared what we witnessed this past week to what we have been dealing with these past 6 months. He said, hatred, just like COVID-19, is a virus. And I think he is absolutely right. Because just like a virus, hatred does not originate within us. It's something that we spread from one to another. It's something that's contagious. Just like a virus, hatred is not something that our souls create. It's something that we learn. It's something that we teach our children. And it is something just like a virus that if it gets inside of us, if hatred infects us and is left untreated, it can consume us. It can have devastating effects. But Warnock was quick to remind us as well that just like COVID-19, we are not powerless against the virus of hatred, the virus of prejudice, and the virus of fear. Just like we have responded to COVID-19 with social distancing, with education and learning, with development of a vaccine, we can respond to the virus of hatred, distancing ourselves from those who would seek to preach and share and tweet messages of hatred and prejudice and fear. We can educate one another about what to do, how to respond when hatred shows up in our community. We can vaccinate our children with the message of God's love, with the message that Christ embodied when he went out into the world and had compassion on people of every kind, when he lived a life of peace in response to hatred. We are not powerless. God has given us the weapons of truth and mercy and peace and love. And so as we continue to try and grapple with what we do in the midst of such unsettling violence, of such devastating hatred, of such crippling fear, let us cling fast to the only hope that we have, the love of Jesus Christ. Let us spread that in our families, in our neighborhoods, in our churches, and around the world. Dear friends, I pray that God blesses you, that God keeps you in his peace, and I look forward to seeing you soon.